Having a little trouble?
I need a lift. Car keeps grabbing me every time I try to get out from underneath it. This is part of why I can't do the linkage. Oh, I only got hung up 5 times.
Any survivors?
I don't know. You said the whole bumper moved a couple times.
It did. It looked like it's coming off its clips.
Oh. Okay.
All right, what are we doing today?
Well, I was going to do the linkage first, but I determined that I can get that much of my finger in there so that I can't do the linkage. I'm going to have to try to get Kit to help me with that. Either that or I'm going to have to take a lot of stuff off, and then I don't know if I can do it because you have to get over on top, and it's not made for someone with sausages.
No.
So I can just get my finger on top of it to feel that it was a nut and bolt on the rear assembly, and there's a expansion pin on the front, which I can replace it with a bolt, which I'm going to knock the expansion pin out at the very least today so I can get a good bolt to replace it, because it did not come with a new expansion pin, and reusing an expansion pin rarely works, although it causes for interesting things. You're going along and all of a sudden there's nothing. So
pretty much
don't reuse the expansion pins, not long term. So I'm going to be trying to get the sheared bolt out of the water pump seal, and I got 2 additional gaskets that are supposed to be for Subaru engines. I don't know if it's for this one, but they're 2 O-rings supposed to go either side of a thermostat on some form of Subaru engine from this time period. And
well,
I also got Insta gasket, high temp, high pressure Insta gasket. So
we'll show the part numbers for that so y'all can get that
if they're relevant.
Yeah, we'll show them anyway. They may be relevant.
I think they're probably for the small engine, because they look way too small for the openings.
That's not a small engine?
No, this is the big engine.
Bigger than what?
The 2 liter. This is the 2.5 liter.
Okay, I guess technically that means it's bigger.
This is the big 4-cylinder. I think those are for the little 4-cylinder. And then you have the 6-cylinder.
This thing looks tiny. This thing looks like I could put it in the back of a kid's go-kart and make a dune buggy out of it.
That's part of the advantage of a boxer engine, is it has such a small profile. Problems with the boxer engines are the cylinders sitting flat, so you have gravity fighting against you on some things, you have oil fighting against you on some things. It's a trade-off. Seems are warm, but they don't want to stay up. and winter came back, of course.
Yes.
Okay, now let me see what I've got here.
See if you get stuck again. Again.
All right. Hand me a couple towels. Would you hand me that camera and I'll show kind of what's going on?
Okay, so
hand me your camera and I'm gonna shoot what I'm doing now, and you'll get me a couple towels, maybe. They're in the back seat. Thank you.
I don't like handing you my main camera.
Oh, come on.
You always try to put me on film.
And well, no, but it got hit by a thermostat. But as you can see, that's sheared. There's a little bit of thread left, so I'm going to try to get it with a locking plier. I'm going to check and see if I can get those rings make a difference, but I don't think they are, because they look smaller than the openings. So it's probably going to be a matter of Insta gasket and using the seal on it again. So, and you can see water reflection out of the pipe onto the assembly. That's kind of neat.
Like I said, you tried to get me on camera again.
Is the mic still on?
You left the mic on, yes. Grab it by the...
I'm trying to. You won't hand it to me. I got a bumper in the way.
I was worried for you to pull on the dang thing. I didn't want to drop it.
I just wanted you to hand it down to me. It's like I'm here. I can't see you. What was that?
No, excuses. I stepped on a twig.
Oh. I was trying to figure out what I knocked off when I bumped the bumper. Today on Krazy's.
Yeah. Krazy Karl Projects.
All right. So let's see.
I break a twig.
And I think I broke the Subaru again.
Yes. And the Subaru eats Karl.
Well, but these are the O-rings that I said go with an engine, and I really don't think they're going to fit.
Yeah. If the ring will fall down. There we go. There's the part number up there. And as you can see, it's got the 2.5 liter on there. It's got the H4 design, single overhead cam, 99 to 09. So,
and like I said, that O-ring may be for some part of this engine. It's supposed to be for the coolant system. It is not for this, because that O-ring is a lot smaller than this opening.
will it stretch around enough to?
Nowhere close. Good comparison. Like putting a 1 liter bottle inside of a 2 liter bottle.
Okay, yeah, it's kind of small, yes.
So that's what I thought was going to happen. So back to cleaning this up and using Insta-gasket. There we go. And maybe that I can get another angle. But as you can see, I managed to lock it. And it's coming out. It's cooperating. Just thankful. I was expecting this thing to fight me.
Well, every other single bolt that you've ever removed that's been sheared off has fought you, so.
And there it is. It's off.
Here's a question. Did you get a replacement bolt?
Yeah, I got 2 of them. They're a little bigger head. It should be a little heavier. I'll try one of them now. It's in the grocery bag.
Apologize for wind noise. Wind just picked up. By a lot.
Those are the replacements. I think they're 10 millimeter or 12 millimeter instead of 10 millimeter or something.
Yeah. I half expect Dorothy to fly by on a freaking house. It was.
That's a couple states over.
Yeah.
Let's see if they feed in. Yay, they actually work. They are the right threading.
Good, because all we got is engine up here. We don't even see you moving.
Alright, so I've got screws. I've got to get me a pair of safety glasses and clean off those surfaces.
Alrighty-o.
So, that's next.
Recording.
Alrighty. Well, got another one of these vacuum caps to cover the ports for the automatic transmission this thing doesn't have. This radiator is one that'll work for either, and it has the ports for the automatic transmission cooler. And I've just been covering them so they don't get junk in them. Technically you don't have to do that, but I'd rather not have junk in it. And I bought a bunch of new ones of these. The only one I can find is the old broken one. So, but I'm going to clean off the metal surface, the plastic surface, as you can see down here. You can see it's actually not too bad. I'm just going to wipe it off with a towel good. The metal surface, as you will be able to see from the other camera, or actually from that one too, it's got some oxidation on it that may be reducing it shouldn't affect the seal with the thermostat, because that seal is supposed to seal with that plastic, which it isn't, but it will affect the seal with the Insta-gasket. So I'm going to clean it up and then Insta-gasket it. I'm going to be careful with the Insta-gasket to make sure I only get it on the metal, because you don't want it to get into the system, because it could clog up your radiator, amongst other things. So now I get to get under there and start cleaning that. Oh yeah, safety glasses. I left them sitting on my desk in my office. I got to quit calling it a porch. It's now sealed. It's the interior room. there. Come on.
That's all we really need. We don't honestly have to have you putting the cap on.
You don't necessarily have to have those with a manual transmission. They're just there because the radiator is for either one. I didn't put the radiator on, but most of the time when you're getting a replacement, if they're the same size, that's what you end up getting when you get the replacement. They quit making the custom ones for the manuals. I've actually seen some newer vehicles that if they have one that way, even the new cars are that way. They just come with that. They don't bother. There's not really any point in making two. Now I'm going to try to clean this off. Wipe it off first, and then I'll scrape it clean. And do my best not to cut the new hose. Push that out of the way a little bit more. If I can get it up a little higher, there we go. I find it interesting, these are also supposed to be anti-glare, and I think they glare worse than the normal ones. Not been impressed with these safety glasses, but they weren't very expensive. You have to be careful not to cut into the metal. You're just trying to clean it up and make a smooth surface. And all the truth is, I think I'm scraping off of what may have been a type of Insta gasket. Not a very thick one, but it seems to be something rubberized. Piece of one. Oh, there goes the camera again. I'm gonna have to push it back further and hope that it catches something because I keep hitting it. I hope you can see stuff from there, but I gotta move it there or you're not gonna be able to see anything because I keep hitting the camera. This may just be for sound. I can set that up there and it won't blow away. We'll see. I just realized I don't think I've ever seen a Subaru with this plastic panel still on it. On the videos I looked at where they're working on it. But this thing's in the way and I realized, you know, I don't think I've ever seen one have this on it still.
Well, yeah. The Subarus. Beauty and presence. Most people, when they get these things, put it through hell.
Yeah.
To me, this is what the AMC Eagles should have.
Yeah. Well, they kind of were. They were driven hard. Most of them, there's not a whole lot of them left for that reason.
Sure. Yes.
When I was in high school, I was actually looking at them. I liked them. I wanted one for a first car. And most of the ones I found were so ragged, I couldn't do anything with them. I ended up buying an old CJ.
People just take them to any old off trail and drive them anywhere. But they weren't really done up for rallying or racing or something.
And not just that, they would drive them anywhere and they wouldn't take good care of them. Yeah. They weren't really, most people didn't really consider them a very valuable car. Did it for a little while, then my elbow gets tired. And I can't get my left arm in there good enough to, because of the angle. I'm trying to get this gasket, this inner wall good and clean, so maybe the rubber ring will seal better.
Yeah.
Still find it weird someone started working on it and then quit. Because it looks like new gaskets on it.
Yeah.
On the heads, and it looks like it's been pulled, and I think they did new belts, so I think they did the full kit. But
I think they just forgot to put the thermostat.
No, they didn't bother with it. They never pulled it.
That's what I'm saying.
They quit. They slapped it back. I think they had the engine out, did all that work, and then just slapped the engine back in and auctioned it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think someone was having it done. The way it looks, someone was having the work done and then didn't pay. I have a feeling that's probably what happened. Okay. Rinsing the thermostat off because where it fell, it got some gunk in it, and I don't want that in my system. So, get the dirt off of it.
Hopefully you're not going to get frostbite out here.
I hope not. Not that bad. At least we didn't get the snow they did further north.
True. Dry your hand off, please.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, I figure. It's always good to put a clean thermostat in, not to have all the gunk and crap that's in there.
It was just dirt from where it fell on the concrete. I'm getting that ripped out. One's covered in garbage and the other one is now wet.
Yeah. But everybody can see how red your fingers are. That's why I was like, yeah, dry your hand off. Could have brought it inside and done it with hot water.
Nah, I didn't need it. I just needed to rest off real quick.
Alright.
Alright. I'll come back to it here in a minute. I'm gonna go see if I can't find that bolt real quick.
Okay.
Alrighty. Well, I'm getting I guess the gasket out. I got sensor safe high temp.
Yes.
So
it is a little bit, well, it's much later. We went back inside to warm up a bit, and the county had one of their, well, we're in the Midwest, so you get used to random parades for almost no reason.
a sports team one.
Yeah, so there was a parade that went by, so we waited inside while that happened. And congratulations to sports ball team that won.
I'm trying to see, yeah, 24 hours. I thought it was 24 hours.
Yep.
Okay. Use this stuff. It's the orange stuff, so that's the right stuff. This is the stuff I always use when there's cold involved. I don't know why. It's just it's high temp, so I always had good luck with it, so it's what I get. I'll find where that went.
Do I need to?
Probably.
Why?
Because
why?
I don't want to litter.
If only everybody was as litter conscious as you.
I'll find it when I sweep.
Yeah, it'll come. Well, you can get a hold of it.
Alright. I will recommend preloading. Because when you're laying under there, it's not near as fun. And I am going to add it to the metal surface, not to the plastic surface, which reminds me. Fresh towel was somewhere. That's why I hadn't put these back down. My hands are getting cold. It helps my fingers, but it does help the hands a little bit.
Yeah. Well, also, laying on cold concrete sucks.
But that was fairly clean to start with. So. That's the thermostat all nice and clean. New one. See how it's supposed to seal. This touches that inside ring, and that seals. This seals with the plastic, and that's supposed to seal it up, and all be good. Well, that didn't work.
So if you're using one of these things, you may want to do the Insta-gasket thing as well. May. Watch this video to the end. Make sure it doesn't screw up on us too.
I left you on.
You left it on?
No, I turned it off.
Alright, I was about to get mad at you.
Here, there, the battery died. There it goes. Yep, battery's dead. I may have left it on.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Here. It's dead. It's not going to do any good.
Here, you can have this one.
Alright. Alright. Remember which side to point. You can see I've got that as clean as I can get it. The surfaces. And I'll pull this down now because and I will clean that off more. This part off more. If I can get my towel, because it ran away. Because the wind is blowing like crazy. It's left-handed. Hold the camera. Get this cleaned out good. There was also, and there's coolant on me. So I got that taken care of. And that defeats the purpose. Now I got to get another towel and clean it off again, because it's got to be clean and dry. And now I need another towel. So now I'll get out and get more towels. Just sit down for a moment. This is your zen moment while you see the clouds going by and hear the wind chimes. Well, I get some of the coolant off my hands and get some fresh towels.
There you go, recording.
Let's see if I can set this up somewhere where you can see what's going on. Back behind me where I won't knock it down. Why is the gasket being that difficult? It should just sit in there. Maybe, you know, I'm going to try to turn this gasket around. Maybe it's on upside down. It came this way, but who knows? Maybe they put it on upside down. I should be able to do it that way. That's probably how I'm going to do it. I'll need the seal, so I was hoping to have that beforehand. Like I said, I don't want to get it in there, so let me get this out of the way so I can use both hands. It doesn't take a whole ton of it, just enough to... Gravity is not your friend. Well, look at me. Gravity is never my friend. I promise I don't have my own gravity force field, though. The shaking's not a requirement.
It's cold out here.
Part of it. And there we go. Got a bead all the way around. So that should help it seal. This time I'm not pushing this all the way in. I'm going to set it still up that way, because that's how it came out. The other one came out. And set it in there. Get it centered. Like that. Let's see. Pull this down again. There we go. And I'm going to add a little bit more sealant to it, because I kind of wathered that around. If I can see what I'm doing. It's cold, so this stuff is stiff. Manufacturers, I know this is supposed to be easier with the gasket that's supposed to pressure, but when you go to replace this stuff, a lot of times it don't seal. Recommendation, just provide a gasket to go in between as well, just as a safeguard for a repair kit. Spent a lot of time fighting with the instant gasket, because when I was fighting with getting it lined up, I pulled the nice clean line off. So now I've just kind of slopped it on the outside. And while you let it set up good before you run it, is if any got in there, as long as I didn't get it on the actual thermostat part, it should seal up, become rubberized, and not affect anything.
Okay, good.
Rub that instant gasket in, and it go around just to smooth it out a little bit. That's more for personal. I don't like seeing the blob of it out and about everywhere. Hopefully that's sealed. Alright. Now I gotta get out of here. That's got instant gasket. Gonna let it cure for 24 hours. So be tomorrow evening. I put fluid in it. Tomorrow I'm gonna try to work on my Buick, probably, maybe, and clean this trunk out. I actually may clean that trunk out some this evening still. And right now I'm just working on clearing this out, and I'm going to put a nail in there instead of replacing the lid, because when I replaced the lid last time, it sealed the lid to it, and it actually didn't seal the inside. So, and I didn't have the nozzle afterwards, so I don't know whether I want to try to do that or put this back on or leave this on. I'm debating that right now.
And go.
All right, now it's been almost 24 hours, somewhere close, and I'm going to start filling it now. And the nice thing about this funnel is, even though I don't have a burper, this funnel fits down nice and tight in here, so it works pretty good. Now let's see, get everything tight, start filling it up. I've got what's left of the mixed stuff. Already mixed.
And again, Asian green.
Yep, Asian green. Yep. Whereas for like GM, you got Dextron, and then a lot of the other Americans just use generic green. But you want Asian green on these vehicles.
Yep.
And of course it won't pour. The nice thing is I don't hear drip, 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 drip yet. Bad part is I spilled some, so I see fluid down there, but I don't see it dripping from the problem spot, so that's good. So this is for the premix, but I got I got a trick to make another thing of premix, because I got about half a gallon here. This is marked, it's half a gallon. What was in here was not the 50-50 blend. It was what was left of what came out of the car, plus some 50-50 blend, plus some straight coolant. I'm going to go ahead and mix up some 50-50 blend. Actually, I say that, and seeing the bottom of this, I'm not going to mix up 50 blend in that, but I will fix it. I'm going to add a little more because, like I said, I tend to run 70%. They're starting to slow down. Add a little more water to it. Mix. This and makes it, because I just noticed there's a little bit of junk in the bottom of this. There we go. And that took it down to, oh yeah, that should be about a 70% mix now, because that took a little over a quarter gallon, which I'll have to mark that. And I'll see if it starts. Oh, I need to check oil. I just remembered I want to check oil before I start it again. Because it was clattering last time I started it. Okay, I'm going to add a quart. Even though it's sitting off angle, there should still be some on the dipstick, so. Not sponsored.
Although they want to be.
I only got a quart. And like I said, it's not level, so I can't really test it. I'll use some water to wash that coolant off.
Now, it is pretty cold today, so it may appear white until the engine warms up.
Oh, it'll probably be a little white anyways because it's been sitting so long, the oil's leaked into the cylinders. So.
Yeah, it's blue you got to worry about, though, really. Blue smoke, you got problems.
Like I said, it was clattering a little bit. I think it's because it was on angle. Now there's some oil on it. So, if I overfilled it, it shouldn't be overfilled much. But I got to add oil to it, and it would probably do. It's been sitting. Start it.
Yep. See, it's already clearing up. I smell maple syrup for some reason.
I don't know. And as you can see, bubbles working out of the system. And coolant sprayed everywhere from that first when it kicked out.
So this is burping the system?
Yeah.
Is the rest of that going to go down?
No telling. It'll probably make a mess. This is not an actual, what they normally show. They have a stopper, so you can stop from doing that. I don't have one of those. So, it's on my list of things I should have. But
that list is quite long.
Yeah.
We're getting there slowly but surely.
That's not that bad, considering how long it's been sitting. It's been sitting here on these ramps for almost a month.
Yeah, as I said.
It's been about a month since this ran last. Because I had to order part, had to order another part, had to order another part. Storm, rain, snow.
It's tough working in God's garage sometimes.
I wonder where that thing went to. That's garbage, but I knew I couldn't find it yet. But it was kind of dark when I was finishing up. Now it's just a matter of letting it run for a while. Definitely still fluid. Getting low, add a little bit more. The hard part, I can't tell if it's leaking because there's water everywhere. You can tell it's not leaking from the thermostat. It's just water dripping down from where it's up there. Smells like a little gas and oil. But
it's clearing up.
Sure, it smells like cooking coolant because it's cooling on the motor.
That could be the maple syrup.
That's the sweet smell you're smelling. That sweet smell is coolant cooking. It has a sweetness to it. And from what I've gathered, these can be pretty difficult to burp, especially with the down-facing thermostat. So, it's getting close to operating temperature. You can see that in there. The door will not stay open.
Give me a second and I'll...
watch it, it'll bubble this over. See? Yeah, the pump kicking in. You've got fluid turning. But it's just fluid, it's not air bubbles. So that's a great sign for the head gaskets being fine. Because if you had open head gaskets, what you'd end up with is you'll end up with an eruption of bubbles when you do that, because exhaust gas is getting into the system. If it's just running normal, you're going to end up with just water pushing up from the pump running faster. Because the pump will run faster if the engine runs faster. And the thermostat has opened up because this hose isn't rock hard. And you can see the fluid coming out to do that. And yes, there's oil from the system. At one point, this thing had blown head gaskets. All signs are it was fixed, and then they quit working on it. They replaced the head gaskets, probably the water pump and the belts, and then slapped it back in the car and got rid of it. Don't know the backstory for why or how or when or what, but they did that and it went to auction earlier this year, so who knows.
Chances are somebody said, I ain't paying for that.
So
that happens. Mechanic can take your car. It's called a mechanic's lien. They can take the dang thing from you.
It's starting to steam. No more bubbles. And the thermostat's open. The hose is nice and soft. Temperature?
It's sticking low.
And watch the fluid. Don't stick your face over the funnel. I'm trying not to, but
I do see one or two bubbles, but it's, it doesn't seem to be
but it's not. I think that's still the system burping. This engine, see, the thermostat's probably getting open now, and from what I've got of this engine with the downward facing thermostat, it's extremely difficult to burp that because it has to push pressure and push the bubbles out and then up the system. So, and doing all that, I see churn and turmoil, and this isn't a perfect seal, so I see fluid coming in and coming up. But it seems to be doing good. Get all the coolant I spilled on it burning off.
Is that working bubbles out? Or?
Yeah, working bubbles out.
Okay, I didn't know if you were just playing with it or whatnot.
Not trying to work bubbles out. And I'm hoping that lower one will, like I said, it's all acting like thermostat's open now. So when I'm hitting the pump, it's cycling through and it's not making this line hard. So the thermostat has opened. That's an improvement. And like I said, from what I've gathered of this system, it's difficult to get it to quit. Now I'm starting to question.
What do you mean?
Now that it's actually getting hot, Watch the fluid. I'm not sure if that's because it's hot and it's that doesn't match the telltale for head gasket, but I don't know. There's a few little bubbles filling up in there.
Let's get a tester kit.
We're gonna have to get a tester kit because it's not a blown head gasket, but the head gasket we can see. The thing is, it's holding temperature good and the thermostat's working now, so that was its problem. This thing will never let me decide on its head gasket whether it's good or not.
No, let's get a tester kit.
But I'll turn this off.
It's spurted.
Turn it off. Let it sit for a little bit longer. Draws any more fluid back in as it cools. And see, top this off what I can of this reflect of this water. So is it ready to go mix? Like I said, it's not got the telltale of a blown head gasket. Blown head gasket, when you have this, you're supposed to have an absolute volcano. So you'll have air bubbles, you put a throttle in, it'll put all kinds of air bubbles out and it'll just explode out. Oh. For that could just be the fact that it's running at operating temperature and it's so cold that it's reacting when it's hitting the cold air. Because it's steaming pretty violently.
Yep. But
like I said, it's not an official test either way. But either way, it's not completely blown. And the thermostat works, which is the great thing. Yeah, the new thermostat wasn't working because this thing had, the new hose had exploded. So.
Alrighty, well.
That's going to be it for this one. I'll make a mess getting this cleaned out and then try to clean some of this coolant off and square everything up and then it's back to working on the trunk. Until next time.